And welcome, welcome, welcome. This is Peter Winnick. I'm the founder and CEO at Thought Leadership Leverage, and you're joining us on the podcast, which is Leveraging Thought Leadership. Today, my guest is Ramon Ray. He is an author, a speaker, an advisor, I would say a guru of sorts to entrepreneurs. And he's been in this space for quite some time. So I'm honored to have him on today. So welcome aboard, Ramon.
Hey, Peter, glad to have you. Thanks for having me. Thanks for letting me have some value for your audience. And thanks for the amazing work that you do in the world to make the world a better place in some way, shape, or fashion. So glad to be here.
Thanks. Appreciate that. So let me start with one of my favorite questions, which is sort of how the heck did you get here, right? Like, what was because I'm always fascinated with the journey, with the path, with the serendipity of it all. Like, how did this happen?
Sure. I mean, I think like many stories we already know, how they built it and stories of Walmart.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm not there at all, but meaning those stories that we know that have an affinity for us, slow, consistent work, as I know you know so well. And the bottom line is who I am today. As you said, yes, I'm the founder of zoneofgenius.com. We help thousands and thousands of small businesses grow and start their businesses as a event producer, Genius Talks, as a business coach, and more. And how I got there, the short of it is, spent many years working at the United Nations. How I got there was a lady in my church said, Ramon, they hire extra people during the General Assembly in the fall where all the heads of state come in. Why don't you apply and get some extra, get some work and get some money? And I applied there and I was there for over 10 years. While there, Peter, I got bit by the entrepreneurship bug. I discovered for me the internet and bulletin board
Right.
and Prodigy and all those kind of things. And the two pivotal moments, I can remember somebody asking me, Ramon, can you speak for us somewhere? This was years later. And I said yes to that. And there got my professional speaking. And then the other thing was that, hey, Ramon, can you do some things for us and let us sponsor your brand? So the short of it,
Back that up a little bit. So when somebody
sure.
doesn't just randomly come up to, an introverted actuary and say, "Hey, can you speak to us, my friend?" What was it about the things you were doing, your reputation, personal brand? Like, why would of all the people at the UN, right? They'd say, this young fellow would be great at that.
Yes, good question. And again, that was a separate context. So I had my UN and then I had my quote unquote side hustle. So who you
Got it. Okay.
the
Yeah.
yeah. But really a friend of mine, and it's another tip, lesson of the day is build good relationships. A friend of mine,
Yep.
she's Moan. I know you, I know the work you do. I can't be somewhere as I recall. Can you speak on my behalf? And or
Okay.
my place. And so I spoke, and that was just one of many, it doesn't happen overnight, but you do that kind of thing over and over again. And there goes your line of business as a speaker. So that's kind of how it started. Somebody who knew me, saw value, kind of like me and you, let's say, and they opened the door for me. And 20 something years later, I'm a in demand motivational keynote speaker.
Love it. Love it. So break apart then your let's start with your work in terms of the gist and the essence of your book, your thought leadership and your content. And then I want to get into sort of the business side of that. So what is it that you're mostly known for? When people think about you and your brand and your stuff, they say Ramon is the X guy. What do you hope X is? Or what do you think X is?
What I hope it is and what it is could be different.
Yeah, well, yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's
Yeah.
in my subject line, I think, is probably the most thing I hope is unapologetically positive, and a cousin to that is he's high energy. Now, that doesn't translate into money offhand, but honestly, I think that's what most of my professional friends will say. Ramon made us feel good. Ramon was positive. He was a dose of goodness in our life. So that's one. How does that translate? I think
But wait, stay there because that's a
right.
personal attribute. I'll attest to that because in every touch point you and I have had, I'm like, this is just a positive guy, right? Like, so that's one of the takeaways. Now, that being said, in the course of my work and such, I don't know that anyone's calling me saying, "Hey, Peter, do you know a positive guy that I could spend a lot of money with?" Right. So connect the dots there for me.
Absolutely. So when it comes to the three things I do, which are brands working with me who are looking for influencers, that's one line of work. Two,
Yep.
those who want me to help them grow their business. Or three, those who attend the event that I produce. That ties in because hopefully Peter will think, you know what? I remember that's right. This guy, I forgot his name. Ramon. He was just a great guy. Don't know exactly what he does. Maybe he's not a fit for you, but he's easy to work with. He's a nice guy, and he's in the B2B space in some way. Have a conversation. And Peter, that's all I need. I may not be the right fit for someone you introduce me to, but the lesson learned for all, not just me, but to teach, to help others learn, is that I think that you're right. It's a personal attribute, but you can leverage the one or two unique gifts that God gives us all for business. Peter, you may be a more stoic guy, as an example. Stoic, more serious minded, but you may be great with numbers. Like that's your special sauce. People may not remember you as the fun guy.
Right.
It's okay.
Right.
They may say, but you know what, Peter? We gave you this problem. He laser like got to the problem quickly. That's your gift to
So
me.
so stay there for a minute because I
Sure.
think that, part of your world is the world of a speaker. And I would say most of my clients, speaking is one of the bullet points on their resume, if you will. It's something they do. To some, it's the top line item on their P&L. To others, it's an occasional thing. And I think they often forget because it's such a weird business in that, you're getting paid a ton of money for everybody to pay absolute attention, fly all around the world to see you. You're treated like gold. You get the big suite in the hotel and blah 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 blah. Right. Well, not all. Yeah. Well, we've
I
you
know
know we've all done
you're
we've
painting the
all
bigger
done
picture.
yeah. Well, we've all done the gig in Poughkeepsie and whatever. But
Sure.
but my point is, a lot of speakers get a little bit high on their own supply and forget that they're in the business of serving the client, right?
Yes.
And the fact that the client got 100 or 1,000 or whatever many people to show up and hear them speak, it's not really about them. And
Mhm.
I've seen some folks get so ridiculous in their demands or their this or their, what they're looking for, or I'll do this and I won't do this. And instead of a really good speaker does their homework and figures out, hey, I'm here to serve you. What are the things you want me to say? What can I do? What can I do to make you look good? Oh, Miss or Mr. Whoever hired me, right? And I think it's not about you. And I think that's an important piece for speakers to remember.
I love that, and I think you're right, Peter. No, if all of us are serving each other, if I'm serving the client, if I'm doing the best I can, you're 100% right. Then we would do it, and I hopefully, by God's grace, that it's something I don't forget. I mean, I have my issues I can improve on, but I definitely remember, and it's not about me, yes, but I want to get paid. I want to be
No,
compensated. I
of
want
course. Yeah, yeah,
help.
yeah.
And so eventually it'll turn back to me. But if I'm taking care of Peter, Peter, okay, you invite me to this event, Peter. Who's coming? Well, Peter, remind me what you do again so I can shine the light on you as I close and say, go see Peter. Man,
Yeah.
Peter's going to be like, dang,
Right.
come to
Right.
one of my events if you're shining the light on me and we're eating together. That's how you build.
Yep. So you've got a couple distinct lines of business, right? There's the event piece, the speaking piece, the community piece. How do they how separate are they and how connected are they?
Yeah, they're introspected to some way because I produce so much content, but the event businesses in my email newsletter and other publications that I have, people sign up and people going to the unapologetically positive endear themselves like what Ramon has. I thank God for that. So that's one aspect. And we want to come to Ramon's event. We know it's going to be fun and informative. First, fun. And if you happen to learn something, that's a bonus. So first, fun, second, informative. So that's the event line. As they come to the event line, I can say, hey, listen, here's what I'm doing. If you like this, if you want to work with me, do XYZ. And so that will lead to the coaching side. And then the brand sponsorship, that's a kind of a separate area because the
Yeah.
kids that I work with, they're in other oases, but it's somewhat connected because they're seeing my content. They see Ramon out there as somebody who is a influencer like Mr. Beast. The Super Bowl
Yep.
commercial he had with Salesforce, they saw him. He's not in their demo, but they're like, dang, this guy reaches hundreds of millions of people.
Yep.
How can we work with him? So that's the synergy there.
Got it. Got it. So how the barrier to entry in some of these businesses is fairly low, right?
Mhm.
A lot of people, you go to an NSA conference or something like that, and there's a lot of people that have dreamed of being a speaker because their friend told them when they gave a wedding toast to their brother-in-law, "Oh my God, you're so awesome," whatever. Nobody tells their friend you would be an amazing dentist, and then they go to dental school, right? Like, wow, the way you floss is like no other. Like, you're just the best flosser. You should really go for that, right? But some people, whether it's charisma, whatever, and people push them to do that. What is it that you're doing, have done, and will continue to do to stay on top of your game?
Yeah, I think that a few things. And one is opportunities like this. I say yes if I can add value to someone like Peter and I can have a conversation with him, a smarter guy than me in many areas, it's a yes. So that's one saying yes. Number two is I think to add value and to hone our craft. I'm on Clubhouse quite a bit, the social audio app. People say I thought it was dead
Okay.
in COVID,
Yeah.
but I'm there so much. You can't mess me up with a mic dropping, screen not working, a baby screaming. You just can't. It's I've done it so much. And again, everybody has different expertises. So don't everybody say, I want to be a speaker. But if you want to be a speaker, the more practice you're at it, you get the humor, you get the line, you get the serendipity, you get the when the moment, when the pause for effect, all that stuff, you hone your skills the more and more you do it.
Right. Right. That's interesting. Where do most of your engagements originate? And I want to get into sort of industry specialization or geographic specialization. Is there a pattern of organizations that bring you on more than others, or organizations maybe the other side of that that would ask you to come on board and you say, I'm probably not the fit for you. My friend so and so would be better.
Yeah, for the brand sponsorship side, it's definitely those larger brands, usually they're global brands, that have a distinct line of business for small business, whether that's
Okay.
25 million, 50 million, which is huge for this tiny businesses, or whether it's 2, 3, 4, 10 million in sales. So that's they have some SMB component in their line item. Hey, Ramon,
Hmm.
work with you to be our flag bearer. My client, Bitdefender, they're based
Yes.
in Albania, security company. So that's one. The other bucket I think could be of companies, so that's a large B2B brand. Those who hire me to speak at events, that's usually a trade show, an association, a conference like that. They may have smaller budgets, but they're looking for a speaker. They may not all be able to hire Damon John. And to the point,
Yeah.
the places though
Right.
that Damon John is at, Cody Sanchez, many of the Sharks, Simon Sinek, and others, they may say, "Hey, Ramon, yeah, we hired these big dogs, but can you come in and host the event for us? Can you be
Right.
added a plus one to maybe speak ahead of them?" That's where I shine.
Got it. Got it. So it's sort of in that space. Sometimes it's interesting to realize who the six-figure version of the five,
Mm.
figure speaker is and say, hey, there's a lot of people that can't afford Simon or Damon or whatever, and park your ego. You can make a great living being in the sort of aftermarket for that, or the yeah, bring it on, right? Like,
Please. I
yeah,
would fly for 7,000, 10,000, 25,000 all day, or have Damon, but now you need a few others to sprinkle in.
sure,
Absolutely. Pay Damon his 150, his 100, whatever he is. Pay me 15K, 20K. We're good. I'll see you next week.
yeah. Now, do you do a lot of your own negotiations, or do you have people that handle that for you? Because that's a tough issue for a lot of folks.
Yeah, generally I do it. My business is small enough to right now. I have a good friend of mine, Lee Hayes, and she's a speaker wrangler to negotiate the deal, especially when you have good inflow. Since mine are not so much, 'cause
Hmm.
8 times a year, 15 times a year, depends on what I want. Easy enough. And usually people come in if they're the right company. Ramon, what's your fee? 25,000. We don't have 20,000. We have 19. Is that okay? Yes, done. I'm gone.
Give me 19,000 and a bagel, right? Like, there you go. Right.
Exactly.
So I want to segue a little bit into your thoughts on the publishing landscape. So tell me about your last book, how you chose to publish it, and what the delta is between what your expectations were and how it landed.
Sure. I think as Seth Godin says, books are a gift. And I is how are they a gift? They're the gift to the person who's reading it because it's something tangible, could be digital, but something they can hold in their hands, they can remember it,
Yes.
which is the emotional connection. The very few people read it, but it's something from you they can get, and or the few percentage that do open it that may read it from cover to cover, they can learn. My latest book, Celebrity CEO, people can download free stuff on that from celebritysceo.com. People have shown it to me with bookmarks, said, Ramon, this is a simple book that helped me to understand the power of personal branding. So I think Seth is right. It's a gift to people. And if you do it right, it's a gift to yourself that keeps on giving because you may want to sell your book, but I'll tell you the little secret, not a secret. Me, I have hundreds of books in my garage. When I go to speaking events, I give them away. Now, hopefully sign up to my email list to get the book. That's your call.
Sure.
And or maybe I work with the event host and they pay me a little more, figure it out, and we give it away. And I get some amazing pictures and video, which
Yeah, yeah.
the next event.
Yep. Yep. And I think the other thing that people don't realize with a book, no pun intended, is it's got a long shelf life, right?
Mm.
So you'll probably, and you've experienced this, getting a lead from a gig you did 5 years ago. You're like, I don't remember being like, oh, that thing. But they held the book. Like I for one feel guilty throwing a book away, right? Like there's just something bad. Like you don't do that. Like it's whatever. So it might be sitting around on your shelf, and the whole book industry runs around launch date and release date and 90 days after and all that sort of stuff. But like a book, like you said, it's a gift, it's a personal thing. I like the framing of that. And then giving it away when you actually, the author hands a book to someone, whether they paid for it or not, there is this sort of psychology that goes there like, wow, Ramon went through all this energy and he gave it just to me. And he maybe scribbled his name in it with a little smiley face or, whatever like that. Like, I'm not going to throw that out. That's kind of a neat, I don't have zillions of those things. That's a different sort of thing.
That's right.
So,
Exactly.
so what's next for you? So we've got, everybody's wrestling with AI and what it's doing and how you're using it and all that. And this isn't really an AI question, but what are you thinking about and hoping for the next 12 to 18 months in
Yeah.
terms of what's going to be the same in your business? What do you hope might be a bit different?
Yeah, I have 3 or 4 people that are my North Stars. One is Tyler Perry. Tyler Perry,
Hmm.
producer, he produces events, he has all kind of things he does working with partners, and he also acts in his own experiences. So Tyler Perry is one. Kevin Hart, many people know he's the comedian, he's
Yep.
the talent,
Yep.
and he have other things that he does in movies and acting and producing, etcetera.
Yep.
Other person I'll give an example to is Hala Taha. People don't know her, look up Hala Taha. She's an amazing YouTuber, one of the biggest podcast people around. So I say that, Peter, because for Ramon Ray, it's very simple. I will continue to be the talent, the showing up
Yep.
unapologetically positive with a smile and fun, making people feel great. Happens to know the lens of that is going to be through business. And those will fester into or foster into live events, in-person experiences, bringing people together. Number two, our online content, podcast, live,
Sure.
video, and more. And then third, coaching, saying, hey, if you want some of this, I can help you, or referring them to people like Peter, have Peter
Right.
work for you to help it do your thought leadership better. That's where Ramon's going.
Love it. Love it. And maybe give an example of something you were excited about and didn't work. So, for example, when you said Clubhouse, I'm like, geez, I remember that during COVID, it blew up like nothing I've ever seen before. And maybe something was we weren't leaving our house. We were taking a shower. Like the whole non-video thing was sort of interesting. And then frankly, I haven't heard that term in years, but you found a platform that you like. What other things have you experimented with that maybe didn't work and why?
Oh, so many things. I mean, the past 2, 3, 4 years, Peter, post COVID especially, it's been brutally tough for me. It's been really tough to know who am I and what am I doing. So I've tried a number of things. I tried, in fact, coaching before. I had a community. I built it on Mighty Network, which is a great
Yeah.
network, but it just wasn't a fit for me. It's a bit too big for me. So I just opened up a school group. But the point is, I'm going back into coaching. So I have a community. It's recurring revenue. And sometimes, Peter, you do things on the first time, it doesn't work out, but you keep at it, you innovate, you change it. You know it's in the right direction, but maybe it wasn't
Right.
time, the right way, you do it again. And so now I'm doing coaching and I'm loving it. So yeah.
What is it that you love about coaching? Is it the immediate sort of impact you can see? Or because there's a self-selection piece, right? Like most jerks don't want to be coached, right? Sometimes I would argue that those that need it the most are the least likely. But what is it that you enjoy about coaching?
Sure. I think two things. One, I must say I like the recurring revenue as a business.
Okay.
People 49 a month, it'll go up to 149 a month. That recurring revenue is one part I wanted to do as a business thinking because I didn't want to be beholden waiting for a brand sponsor. So this is very,
Yeah.
I have to figure out how to break into coaching for recurring revenue. That's one. But number two, Peter, seeing that people are really saying they enjoy it, they're learning, they're
Right.
excited, it's now invigorating me.
That's
What
cool.
I love
And
about it.
you're also as a thought leader learning from I think a lot of times whether it's advisory or consulting or coaching, it feeds the brain in terms of, oh, here's something people are thinking about. If I was only on the stage, I wouldn't really know about that because they're saying this to me, privately. And then you hear it once, you hear it twice, like, okay, there's something in the zeitgeist now that people are anxious about this or excited about that or bored with this. So cool. Well, this has been a lot of fun. I appreciate your time. I appreciate your energy. And for those of you that can't tell, it's like the positivity is certainly contagious when you have a conversation with Ramon. So reach out. So
Thanks for having me, Peter. Appreciate you.
To learn more about Thought Leadership Leverage, please visit our website at thoughtleadershipleverage.com. To reach me directly, feel free to email me at peter@thoughtleadershipleverage.com. And please subscribe to Leveraging Thought Leadership on iTunes or your favorite podcast app to get your weekly episode automatically.